This is the Queen City Killer, Clara Carter, and I want you to listen to my wrestling road stories because they're pretty great because I'm the greatest women's wrestler on the independent scene today.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Thank you very much for being with me. Yeah, I know you guys are always doing stuff, so it's great to have you on. And let's start off with your worst road story.
The worst one, anytime Logan Quindell is behind a wheel is terrible. And I say this with all the love in the world. I love him so much, but he's so bad because he will go 125 miles per hour the whole time, and he will swerve and you'll hit your head on the window so many times. But recently, the most recent one we did when we went to California, Jada Stone drove us from LA to San Francisco, which was like a 6-hour drive. This little itty bitty girl, not only was she driving 100 miles per hour the whole way, but at one point I look over, she has 2 phones in her hand and her pinky on the steering wheel, and her pinky's like this big. So I'm like, Jada, you're gonna kill us. But we got there in record time. It was actually impressive, but it was terrifying.
Man, so you are the third person to mention another wrestler that is a wild driver. So now I think there needs to be a poll at some point that I have all the wrestlers do. So it's Drew had mentioned Mia Johnson, and then now we have Logan and Jada. I need someone that has been in the car with at least 2 or 3 of them to like tell me who's the worst between Jada and Logan.
I would say Logan because Dalen Kingsley is also a terrible driver, by the way. He won't speed, but he will literally drive in between 2 lanes the whole time. Like, he won't be tired or under the influence or anything. He will be focused, but he will be in between 2 lanes. I'm like, Dalen, what are you doing?
My brother-in-law does that, and he's like, there's no one else on the road.
But I would say with Logan, you feel like you're going to die the whole time. With Jada, you feel the same, but you're entertained because Logan will just be dead silent, just zooming, and it's terrifying.
Oh, man. All right, good deal. So bad driving for the worst story. I'm with that. Yeah. All right, so let's do your best road story.
My best one, it was probably when this isn't like a road, like travel, but it was still in the car. So when I want to say I was like 3 weeks into my training in Tennessee, I was helping out at a show that Danhausen was on, and he broke his foot at this show. And I was given the task to take him to the hospital. So he was in my back seat, and Warhorse was in the passenger seat, and I was driving. And mind you, I was nervous because I was like 19 at the time, and I have these 2 superstars in the car with me, and one of them has a broken leg. Like, I'm just freaking out. And I missed the turn to get to the hospital like 3 times in a row. I was so embarrassed, but they just laughed it off, and they were so nice, and they gave me such amazing advice the whole time. And it was just a really good but really embarrassing experience at the same time.
Oh, man, I would so trade with you. Definitely. Like, that would be so awesome. I love both of those guys. They're great dudes. So, yeah. That's really cool, man. That's definitely a unique, good story that I've had. And I mean, I've been doing this for almost a year now. So that's awesome. That's probably one of my top ones at the moment that I'm enjoying that I've heard. All right. So now we're going to jump into the questions. So what is your go-to place to eat?
Go-to after shows if we leave late enough. I grew up in Charlotte, so I love QT, but I also like to swing by a Waffle House because in the middle of the night, there's a lot of interesting people, and I love a good show while I'm eating my dinner. So
Gotcha. So my old partner would kill me if I didn't ask this follow-up to that. What is your standard Waffle House order?
I always get a chocolate chip waffle, and then I get the chicken hash brown bowl too. But I can never finish the whole thing. I always think I can, but I can't.
Well, I'm sure JC finishes it for you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's a hoss, so I'm with that. All right, good deal. So next one's a two-part question. Who was your first favorite wrestler, and who is your current favorite wrestler?
My first favorite wrestler, I had two. It was Jeff Hardy because he was just so, like, every kid loved Jeff Hardy. Like, he had the face paint, the painted nails, the colorful hair, and he was jumping off of everything. It was Jeff Hardy and Shawn Michaels because everything he did was just so clean, and it intrigued me so much because he kept my attention the second he walked out of the curtain, the second he walked back. So those two. And then my current favorite recently, I've been really enjoying Tiffany Stratton. I think she is a star. I think she's so great.
I gotta agree with you on that. She is definitely, like, when she first came in, especially since she came in as a heel, right? It took me a second to, like, appreciate who she is.
Yeah.
But then, like, when I got past I hate her because she's a heel, and then I started watching her work. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely, you could tell she works hard. You could tell she, wants to just do everything, and she's killing it. So agreed. All right. So who is your favorite person to wrestle?
My favorite person to wrestle. I like wrestling Jada because I feel like a giant. But recently, I love wrestling Audrey Allen because she is a sponge because she's so new to not only like wrestling in ring, but like wrestling in general because she didn't grow up watching it. And if you just throw an idea at her, she will do it in a snap of a finger. And she will throw me around and like gorilla press me. And I just love when she beats me up. So.
Dude, that's great. I was actually talking to Cody a few days ago, Cody Parrish, and he manages Audrey every once in a while, and like, I met Audrey once. Actually, I met her twice, and I've seen her a couple times just around, and like, she's so awesome. Like, she's just a nice person. I love her look. Her look is amazing. Yeah, mm-hmm. So I'm with it. I'm hoping to have her on here soon enough as well. She's one that I'm currently talking to about trying to get on here. But yeah, man, your answers are awesome. I'm like, yep. Like, I'm down with you on those. It's great. All right, so my next one is definitely one of my favorite questions to ask. And do you have a Ricky Morton story?
I do, and it's my favorite story ever. So it had nothing to do with me, but I was in the vicinity when it happened, and I was very much entertained. So at the AML show that Medusa and the Rock and Roll Express were on, Ricky and Robert were arguing that morning, and Ricky wanted to, I guess, embarrass Robert. So Logan Quindell was just lacing up his boots in the locker room, and Ricky tells Robert, he says, Robert, go ask him about his dad. So Robert goes up to Logan and he's like, hey, how's your dad doing? And Logan's like, I haven't talked to him in years. I have no idea. And Robert just goes, damn, that's a shame, and walks away. And you just see Ricky in the corner giggling like a child. He told Robert that Devon Dudley was Logan Quindell's dad. And so Robert probably just thinks that Devon is the biggest piece of crap for not talking to his son. I still think about that like at least once a day, and I just giggle to myself.
Oh man, all right. That tops some of the Ricky stories that I've heard. I'm going to enjoy putting that one. So I plan on doing a compilation for both Ricky and George at some point of all these stories. Mm-hmm. that tops it. That's towards the top of my Ricky stories for sure. I want to get Robert on here just to tell some stories, but he told me he doesn't do podcasts, and I'm like, the stories that I hear from him when I meet him in person, I'm like, the world needs to hear these. They're amazing.
They do.
maybe we gotta work on him. We'll get him at some point for sure. All right. So next one is George. Do you have a George South story?
All of my George South stories are very wholesome because I was originally trained by Dr. Tom Pritchard, and George and Dr. Tom are like BFF. So George has always been like very kind to me. So he hasn't like freaked out on me yet. But I just love watching him wrestle really green guys, and they're all like freaking out. And George will just kind of like make fun of them in the middle of the ring, but be nice about it at the same time. And it's so funny to me because they're all freaking out and like stutter stepping and everything. And George is like, calm down.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, a lot of the people like, so when it comes to George, it's either like they have some funny story that he's done, or it's all about just how amazing and, you know, how much of a treasure George is. So I'm with that. Yeah, I mean, I love that guy. I talked to him on Saturday for probably a good 35 minutes after the show, just shooting the shit. Yeah, he's amazing like that. All right, so final question. If you could only watch one wrestling match for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I would say Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, just because of the emotions in that match, and the storytelling of the match is just so beautiful, and the super kick from Shawn, the timing, and they really let everything marinate and sit, and it's just really amazing, I think.
Nope, I gotta agree with you on that. That is a very good match as well. I remember tearing up a little towards the end of that match, especially right before the super kick, right? Like, I'm like, if a match gets me that emotional, it's definitely one for the books, right? Yeah, I'm with it. Awesome. So, last thing, where can everyone find you?
I mainly post on Instagram. I'm very bad at posting in general, but on Instagram, it's at Clara Wrestling, and you can find everything, all my matches coming up, everything on there.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely post that across here, and I always look forward to seeing you. I need to start trying to make it out to PWF because I know you do a lot out there. Yeah, it's a hike for me. It's like 5 hours, but
oh my goodness. We're gonna be there this Saturday, but we're doing the Crystal Coast Championship Wrestling. So the one, I think it's at like, it's just earlier in the day. I don't know if it's 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah. This weekend I got stuff going on, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna start track. I gotta track better, man. I go to like 6 to 8 shows a month, so it's yeah. I might as well. I need to start getting paid to do this. That's what I'm trying to do here. Like, I mean, going to 6 to 8 shows, I promote a lot,
right?
But yeah, it's a great time. So, all right. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much, and I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you soon.
Awesome. Right. Thank you.
Take care. Have a good one.
Bye. You too.